Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. This is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Pro Cycling Manager, Career Mode, episode number 26. Now we're heading into that special time of year where you've got a lot of national championships under contest, but we are not quite there yet. We've got this one-off race here to do today, and we'll see how that one goes. Marini among the favorites here on the day, but Brian Cockard is here. Surprisingly, not straight to the top of the list. So this is not going to be an easy win. As all the big pro continental teams are here. But we'll get things organized. It's fairly flat throughout the day, throughout the stage, so we'll get things organized and then we'll jump in near the end of the stage. Just over 20k to go in the race. Pace is hot enough now that it is starting to do damage to the field, but we're getting close enough that it's not going to have much of an impact. We are on a loop here in town for the finish. And you can see right now just how technical it is, left, right, throughout. And as we follow to the finish line, I think we'll go across that finish line at least once more. Yeah, here we go, 1K to go.
The pace seems much too high for many riders.
This just weaves back and forth here. And right there is the finish line. So this is going to be an extremely technical finish. And it could alter things a bit, but we're going to go ahead and set up our sprint train as we've got 15k to go. I've got a lot of strong riders, but again, we are going up against the likes of Brian Cockard. So Marini, probably going to be our guy. Yeah. Follow Phil Vol. We'll follow Guyard. And then we'll follow Wachtendorf and Van Hemlen, Harris, and finally Brown at the front. And we'll try to go 93 right off the bat, get towards the front. We've got a little ways to go to get up there. And skinny road and technical road, that's kind of a good thing for me if we get into the position we want. And the peloton has split, at least at the moment, 38 riders, 43 riders. We've caught the breakaway group now. Okay, Harris is behind him. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, we're making our way through here. 10k to go. We got one guy trying to go for a breakaway himself. Brown's just about done. So we're going 99s now with 8k to go. Harris isn't going to last long, but Brown's job is done.
Getting close to the finish line. Everybody seems to agree that the stage will be won in a sprint.
6k to go. Now we're splitting the field. 5.5k to go. We're very much on the front. 99s now, trying to lead this thing out. Okay, let's get off Van Hemlen, even though he's got some left. I need some speed here. .28 riders, Wachtendorf going a bit faster. And Guyard's going to sprint.
And they're off. It's going to be very fast.
And everybody's sprinting for it. I got 3 guys going for it. Guyard. Will Guyard get his second win? Or is it Vilvol? Or is it number 11 there for Delco? It's Guyard! And Vilvol, top 2. Marini, 4th. Cockart only in 6th. Whew, tight finish. Tight finish. Gouillard ran out of energy just at the line. We had so much left as we started late and had enough sprint guys where there was a lot of speed. Luckily, that kept a little bit of a gap behind us, but they started their sprint and we needed to get ours going. So I ended up with 3 sprinters on that, and they all ended up inside the top 4. So that worked out. That very well could have been a loss because of the timing on that sprint, but we made it work. Came away with the victory. That'll be worth some valuable points.
And here are a few of the key moments.
And we even added in a 10th place for Wachtendorf, 14th for Van Hemlen with his lead out. I knew it being technical was going to help us. So anyway, we're into the National Championships, individual time trials first. I'm not going to be sending all my guys to it, but I will send some. I will just randomly sim quite a few of them as well. Bad news, though, before we get into that. We had a sponsor objective last time out. We completed it. We got a stage win, and then I went and did the last few stages off camera. We had some success. We didn't get another stage win, but we had a couple more podiums. Some good results in there, but it made 0 impact to the sponsor confidence in the end because it was minor compared to the others, even though it was up there on there you go, 2.5 stars. It was up there on the importance side, but it just didn't match up to the 3.5 star partial failure that's really set us back. You can see from our string of objectives, we've had 3 super successes, we've had 3 successes, and we've had 2 minor failures. So 0 major failures, none, and yet we can't get the highest level. And with only 1 race left to go, a stage win being a requirement, we can't have another super success. We can only be successful again. And if that one didn't raise the sponsor confidence, I don't see how this one is. So, as sad as I am to say this, I think I am doomed now, even without any major failures at all. I don't think I'm going to get the $12,000 budget increase. I think I'm only going to manage to get $6,000 for next season, and that's going to hurt. I still think we're absolutely looking at Continental Pro for next season. I don't think that's in doubt in any way. I mean, we were like the first team out this season. We're going to dump some of that dead weight, and we'll get some better riders in, and that means we'll definitely be Continental Pro. But with only a $6,000 budget increase, even though I have plenty of balance and I can afford a lot more than that, the sponsors won't let me sign beyond a certain level. So we're only going to have, 13,000 going out plus 6,000 more coming in, something along those lines. So I'm only going to have about 19,000 to spend on 5 riders. So we will get a couple cheaper ones, and I might retain Wachtendorf if he stays cheap, as he's got a little bit of potential. But I'm going to be restricted in a couple ways. 1, budget. Not much available for me. And 2, I still have those sponsor requirements. The Dutch, the Belgian, and the American riders. In order to please the sponsors, and as small as the team is going to have to inevitably be, I won't be able to really branch out outside of those 3 nations, except for possibly 1 rider from elsewhere. And that's going to have a nasty impact. Okay, so we've got a time trial here for Belgium. Veldeman is a -1. I don't expect either of them to do anything spectacular, so I'm just going to go ahead and quick sim that one. I don't gain anything from it. I mean, this is just for their personal pride, personal glory. And you can see that neither of them are placed very high. Van Hemlen, 20th. So that's not bad. Veldeman, where are you, son? Where have you gone? I've lost you. I really have. Oh, there he is. 103rd. Ouch. Is it just me or the sponsor confidence went up like 2%? This part takes a little while as there's lots of nations and their time trials, so it's a busy, busy day on the calendar. Here, the final day of June. 1 month to go till our big deadline. Big deadline being the signing of our contract for next year. And then the following day is that signing period, which I like to get right away, right into and get guys signed almost immediately. Otherwise, you're then competing for those signatures with others. The only downside is you don't know quite where you're at, who you've got until you get in there. So I kind of just go in order and get them signed. We got Gouillard for this one. Again, it's time trial, and he's a terrible time trialist, so we'll go ahead and quick sim that one. See how Gouillard does. Wow, an unknown from Groupama. 76, 22 years old, okay. A young guy. Wins the French time trial. And Gouillard dead last. Good experience for the young lad, though. Okay, Vilvol for Germany. Again, not a good time trialist. In fact, I'm not even gonna let him in there. Okay, fine. I guess I will. Tony Martin wins this one. Vilvol comes in 87th. We'll probably run the USA one, as I'll have some more guys available to compete in it. Marini for Italy. Again, not a good time trialist, so we'll sim that one and see how he does on his own. Now, most of the time in game, you don't want to quick sim very many races. Now, in the career mode like this one, it matters a little bit less. If you are doing the pro cyclist mode, there's Marini, way down by the bottom, 127. Ooh, that one was a bit of a climb, huh? If you're doing pro cycling mode, you really don't want to quick sim because you don't gain any development points for your rider. So you definitely want to use it very sparingly in that situation. Career mode, it matters a little bit less because ultimately it just comes down to whether you earn points for your team or not. And like what I'm doing right now, simming through most of these national time trials. And again here, not strong. Now it's the Dutch National Championships. Sim through that one as well. Here it's just earning team points. National Championships, no team points being offered, therefore it doesn't matter. Jos van Emden gets the win. Bol takes 50th, Van Ginneken 56th. Next up should be the US time trial. And that'll also be the last time trial for my team members. I will not be sending everyone to this one, but I will participate this time. Now, on the day of the road race, I actually have a race that same day. So this Constantine one here, with the Belgium, French, German, Italian, and then the Dutch and the US road races, all of those are taking place on the exact same day. So I've got to make sure that I've got my guys set for this race, which they are scheduled. I've got 7 riders scheduled for it, so hopefully that means they are not scheduled for the subsequent national road races. Otherwise, I could have a problem on my hand trying to field a team. So really on this season, with 1 month to go on the sponsor contract, and then, just an additional day till the signing period, once that's done, we essentially have nothing left to play for the rest of the season. You just kind of finish the season off, you cruise through, and when you're done, you're done. At that point, all that's really left to get after, to do, is to maintain a high placing in the rankings. And that's essentially it. Okay, so individual time trial. We're at Wilkesboro. Let's see. This is flat 48K. It is absolutely pure time trial here. As there's a little bit of undulation, but not much to it. TJ Van Garderen, Joey Roskopf, and Nielsen Paulus are the favorites for this one. All top 10 guys are all World Tour team riders. And of course, my group of Americans are my leftovers from last year. So none of them are particularly strong. And in fact, Simpson is the only one who's a little bit up there, and Garrison. So I'm going to go ahead and leave these other guys out and just take those two and give Simpson and Garrison a chance. Let's go ahead and bring our doctor with us, and we'll get into the race, and we'll just go with these 2 individuals. And in terms of time trialing, we're well outside of those top 10 favorites. So we'll probably be pretty lucky to finish in the top 25, I would imagine. We're probably going to be closer to on the edge of the top 50 with one of these 2 guys, if that. Ooh, it's going to be a little while before we're up. 96 riders to go. So why don't I go ahead and make a cut until Simpson is out on the road. And I'll see you back in a moment. All right, Simpson heading out onto the loop. You can see it is a loop track with cones down the middle of the road. And it's a little bit of a strange one as far as time trials go. What we're faced with here is a situation where you're going out and running a full lap, and that's normal for a time trial. But then you go and run a second lap. So you're getting a lot of overlap of riders on the road before turning off and going to the finish line, which is close to the original start line. Most of the riders have already been out on track, so the times are pretty well set by now. There's still a fair few to go, but starting to get down there. TJ Van Garderen has already been out on track and leads by a minute 45 over Lawson Craddock, who's then at more than a minute ahead of Taylor Finney. Stetna's a minute behind that, so you can see the times really start to spread out, and it's at 4 minutes finally where things start to get a little bit tighter in the field. Right now, if I have any hopes of finishing in the top 30, I will definitely have to have a time inside the top 25. Simpson, okay, looks like he's saved up a little bit of energy here till this point, so we're going to speed it up a little bit for him. But this will be our first checkpoint, and let's go ahead and switch to there now. And where does he come in? Oh, it looks like it's on the backside here. After you turn the corner, this will be the first checkpoint right now. There we go. 2 minutes and 10 seconds off the pace for Simpson. But he does have some energy left in the tank, so that's good. He is on a nice race day condition of a +2. That's a +4 to his time trialing, so he's actually a 70. So Simpson could do pretty decent here, but at 2 minutes and 10 seconds down, it's going to be a difficult one for him as he's already caught Ben King. Wow, so there you go. Pretty decent rider in Ben King that he's about to push past. Ian Garrison will be heading out on track fairly shortly, but with just little undulations to this hill, there's no real tactical genius to it other than having enough energy to make it to the end and not having a bunch of excess. We'll go up to a 72 now as we don't seem to be burning through the energy too fast. So we'll run a 72 for a little while. And I'm going to speed things up slightly here. The same spot where we had our time check is where the next time check will be. Checking back in, it's still Van Garderen, but Brandon McNulty has now crossed the line in second place. And here we are back to the finish line, and here's where we run that loop. You take a right there, and that's right by the finish line. Alright, Garrison about to head out. We'll slow things down for a moment to get... I don't need to slow down. You know what? I have more energy still saved up than what I'm spending, so we're going to go with a 73. And we'll immediately set Garrison to a 73, who is a 66 as a time trialist, but his race day condition is a -2. So not looking so good for Garrison, but we'll try to run a 73 for him, as that seems to be pretty sufficient. Simpson still banking a little more energy, so we're going to speed things up a little bit. We've still got a ways to go. We're going to hit that second checkpoint here pretty soon, and I would imagine, as he's run faster, that he will have improved his time a bit and moved up from 93rd. He'll be down more time, though. Tell you that much. 4:45, but it is up to 28th. So he is gaining time, and we're even going to push that to a 77. Garrison, meanwhile, though, 73 seems to be about right for him. Let's try a 74, though. Side by side with that other rider. Simpson moving past guys. That is a really good sign. He is certainly moving up the standings. But in 30th place, He is already out of contention for much of anything. Garrison, let's see, Garrison should be approaching the first checkpoint. Already has passed it, just passed it recently. Minute 52 down, so he's actually better off than Simpson at the first checkpoint. Simpson approaching the end. Let's go 99. Push, push, buddy. Push, push. Oh, the finish line's right there. 12th! Okay, 12th. 4:35 off the pace. That is really good. Really good finish there for Simpson. I could have maybe squeezed it in the top 10 had I used his energy more balanced throughout the race, because you get smaller gains the higher up you go. Garrison getting ready to do his second lap. We're going to go a little faster. 74 is kind of just about keeping him where he needs to be. Second checkpoint, Garderin had pulled away from McNulty a little bit. When we get down there, we'll take a look at the finish line and kind of see Jonathan Brown's brother there, Nathan Brown, 14th. He has won this event in the past. And through the second checkpoint, 55th, 5:11 down, so he has dropped behind Simpson at this point, and only a little bit of energy to spare, so no, he's not going to be competing near the top. Simpson is now 15th, just ahead of previously mentioned Nathan Brown there. It is still Van Garderen on top. Top guy is there. And coming to the finish line, Garrison 41st, 6:23 off the pace. Simpson just dropped to 16th, but it looks like he will hang on to a top 25 most likely. I don't know how many riders are left, but there weren't guys still looping around, so everybody seems to be at the end. Simpson, outside of the top 20 now. The final riders are all coming in, they're strong ones. Simpson down to 22nd, 24th. Was hoping for a top 25, and he gets it. 24th. So, not bad considering. TJ Van Garderen is the time trial champion of the United States. And we're going to move on. That is it for the time trials now. And we've got that one race in amongst the national road races. So we'll jump straight to the end of that one. Thanks to top 25s in national championships by Van Hemelen and Simpson, sponsor confidence has actually risen slightly, and now we're back in with a chance of getting that $12,000 budget increase. The registered riders, I can't get anywhere on that one. Simpson's evaluation actually did go up slightly, so getting in the top 25 saw a tiny boost in his popularity. That helps. That absolutely helps. So we might have a chance at that $12,000 budget increase. Meanwhile, we are on to the road race national championships as well as the Constantine race. I've got to try to keep an eye on this to make sure that it's not going to go and register all my riders. Unfortunately, the first one up is one where I had neither rider scheduled for the race in the first place. So we're going to go ahead and quick sim through these again, as they don't have much of an impact on anything, though I'd almost like to participate in them just to try to grab those top 25s. It looks like the sponsor does seem to care a little bit. Veldeman takes 77th, Van Hemelen takes 81st. So I suppose I will try to take the Dutch and US ones a little more seriously and see what, if anything, we could do. It seems like grabbing even just a top 25 is going to be enough to boost the sponsor objective or sponsor confidence a little bit. At the same time, I still have a race to produce a team for. So this is going to be odd, and I might be trying to switch these guys out and see what we can do in the U.S. road race by rotating a few of these guys off. Like Guillard, I don't think I can. Yeah. See, it won't let me quick sim if there's no rider there. I can cut it down to one rider, which is maybe what I should have done for Belgium. That's what I was nervous about. Arnaud Demar takes the win. Guillard takes 49th. It was a sprint stage. It was made for him, but no lead out, no support, and not a top rider. Vilvol, same problem. This would be somebody I would absolutely leave behind. Ooh. Beautiful. Vilvol. Top 10 in the finish. Andre Greipel with the win. Kittel takes third. And a top 10 for Vilvol. It's the German race, though. I don't know if that's going to matter to our sponsor at all. At the moment, the sponsor confidence has risen. We'll see what it's like tomorrow. But at the moment, at least, that's a boost. They might not actually care on how we do outside of the Belgian, Dutch, and U.S. races. And they're not going to care about this Constantine race either, where I could actually put a minimal amount of riders into it, just enough to make the minimum qualification. Here's another one in Marini that I can't skip over. Marini takes 19th. It's another top 25. Sponsor confidence goes up slightly. Dutch race is next, and I think I will participate in this one. Now the weird thing is I should have 2 riders. I do. And together they could do pretty well, but I feel like I need to save one. But together with a lead out man, we could definitely get a top 10. Well, let's see, what's the layout? Oh, that's not built for us. We're not going to do well here. So I'm going to save one of these guys for the other race. And who's it going to be? -1. They're both on lower condition. We're going to save Seaspol. I'm going to send Van Ginneken. So that, at the moment, gives me literally 1 rider for that Continental race that's on the same day. And yes, look, all sorts of time splits. Sam Oomen gets the win. So good choice there. Van Ginneken way behind. Depending on the profile, it'll determine who we take with us. I will be leaving some riders behind. I'm planning on taking at least 1, if not 2. It depends on what the profile is. If it's sprint, I'll probably take 2 sprinters. If it's out of our league, we'll just send, I don't know, Brown our weakest guy just to meet the requirements, and then save the rest for the Constantine race. I hope we get to keep some of that sponsor confidence picked up on the day, because that would get us right back into the thick of things on getting that $12,000 budget increase instead of $6,000. And if you couldn't tell by now, that is absolutely my objective for the season. All right, everybody is scheduled for it. It's Winston-Salem. It is technically sprint, but it's not looking very sprinty like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send 4 of these guys home, which will give me at least 5 riders for the upcoming race, and I think that's the minimum you can take. So I need sprinters for that upcoming race, but I also need somebody for here. Wachtendorf would be the guy who is top sprinter here. And then I could use Easter to support him. Yes, we'll do that. Let's not take the doctor to this one. We'll take the doctor to the other one. Dr. Campley in 2 places at the same time on the same day. Alright, so just Easter and Wachtendorf. I'm going to use Easter to shield Wachtendorf throughout the day, and then hopefully survive till the end. And then in just the final few kilometers, give him a lead out. I'm actually going to just let them both relax for a while. So Easter doesn't burn too much energy trying to protect Wachtendorf.
Hello and welcome.
Just so that he's got enough left to give a lead out. Without the lead out, Wachtendorf would be lucky to finish in the top 25. With only 2 riders, I can't hope to get more than a top 10. But could we squeeze a top 10? Maybe. Easter, 0s on the day. That's good for him. Wachtendorf, we'll see what it looks like in a second, but it appears to be a -1. Hopefully it's one of those -1s where it's really only 1 or 2 stats that are affected.
There's a few riders jockeying for position at the front.
And yes, it is. Okay, downhill -1, fighter, stamina -1, 184k, so stamina shouldn't be an issue today. As 4k from now, I believe the mark is 180. Anything longer than 180 kilometers, stamina becomes a factor, and we're just beyond that mark, which means the stamina is only going to have a minor effect. It's when you get to 230, 240, 250 where stamina becomes huge and you see massive drop-offs. Sad thing is 180 kilometers for me, if I get on a bike, my stamina is going to run out much sooner than that.
A small group of riders are trying to get clear of the bunch.
Alright, well, we're going to be riding in the pack for quite a while, so we're going to speed things up here. And instead of just cutting straight to the end, we'll go ahead and stick with it. It should only take a minute or 2 to get there. But I'm going to let both of them ride comfortably here for a while. Easter is the workhorse for this, but I don't want to overwork him, again, because he's also our lead out guy. And usually I protect my top couple lead out guys in addition to whoever is going for the stage win. I need water soon, however, I'll try to get down to about 120k before doing so. So we only have to get water twice. What, 30 now? Yes, I get it. You're thirsty. You are thirsty. You want to go fetch water bottles. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, now go ahead. Alright, back up there. Pace is starting to quicken, it appears. Yeah, some of the downhills are getting up to 50, 60 kilometers an hour. These downhills are going to do a little bit of damage. But that's part of the reason why I brought Easter. Easter's a 69 on hills. Both guys totally fresh right now. That is perfect scenario for us. Breakaway group, 6 riders, 2 minutes, 28 seconds ahead. So they should be reeled in relatively easy. 85k to go now. And now the pace is starting to pick up. My 73, not enough to keep. But a 76 is enough to keep pace. So they're just speeding up a little bit now. Ooh, again, we're starting to drop off the pace. 77 now enough. We'll go 78. It's still, we're struggling to keep up here now. So this is where it's going to start to do some damage. Even an 80 is not quite enough. Okay, we're coming up on the time to go back to the car and grab some water. 66k to go. And with the pace, we're about to go uphill. So I'm going to wait. Is it that short? It is that short. Okay. Easter, go ahead and grab water before things get too crazy. When you come back up, I think it'll be time to start protecting Wachtendorf. Let him recover first, though. Slow down, slow down. Things are really stretching out now. Okay, Easter. Go ahead and protect him. That'll help. Whoa, don't get dropped. Don't get dropped. See, pack is really strung out right now. Alright, so Easter, a quarter of his energy is already gone. Wachtendorf just keeping up with pace here. And Peloton really pushing it. 46k to go too, so this is going to be difficult. I'm not sure we're still going to be in this thing at the end, especially with all these ups and downs here through town. Easter's already almost halfway gone on his energy. And he's only been protecting Wachtendorf for, what, 20, 25k? Not even, right? That's when we went and got water, was 65. So it's only been 15 or 20k that Easter's been on the front. Now, Wachtendorf's hanging in there, but if Easter's gone... Ooh, 21 riders is all that's left. 21 riders here in the peloton, and we're about to get dropped. We're about to get dropped. Don't get dropped. Come on. Come on. Stay there. Stay in contact. I mean, we're already looking at a potential top 25 just from survival. Oh, that could be a good thing, especially if the gap behind us opens up. Easter's not going to last a whole lot longer, but if he gives... maybe I need to switch guys. Wachtendorf protect Easter, as it's not going to come down to the sprint. It's going to come down to survival, right? 21 riders and shrinking, 17 riders. We're looking at a top 25 now. Easter's almost done. It's too late. Easter's the better climber, which is why I was thinking about switching to keeping him around. But 11 riders. We're looking at a top 16 now. Breakaway group nearly caught. And they'll hopefully, some of them go right out the back.
It looks like you'll have
Ooh,
to abandon
Paulus, Warbase, Bookwalter, all in that group. Easter's gonna fall out the back here in a moment. Goodbye, Easter. Goodbye. Okay, put you on auto. 16 riders now. Left with a chance. 25K to go.
A rider is down. That looks like a really bad fall.
Speed it back up a
It's
little bit
shame,
here.
but he's not going any further. Several riders are on the ground.
Okay, breakaway group is caught. They are going to be super fatigued, I would imagine, based on the intensity of this chase. Hopefully, a few of them go right out the back. Easter's back! Easter is back on. They've made contact. Nope, there you go. Those guys right out the back, and Easter was right there with them. 14 riders? We're looking at a top 15. 13 riders. 20K. Wachtendorf's hanging on. Back in contact for now.
Withdrawal of a rider. He seemed to have neither the energy nor the courage to keep going.
If he recovers a little bit, we're going to get Easter back up here to protect Wachtendorf. And not quite. He's just hanging on to the group, so I'm just going to let him do his thing for a little bit. Wachtendorf actually doing some recovery. We've got an attack. New breakaway trying to form. I am definitely not following any of those. I'm just looking to get as high a finish as I can in Wachtendorf if there's a sprint. Could do a decent enough job. Jeez, 96 and he's barely keeping pace. Easter's dropped almost right away. Oh, the group split down to 6 for a second. 2 riders off the front. 5 riders off the back. Easter's one of them. So we're down to, now it's 10 riders. So we're down to a top 12 now. We have almost seen our way into a top 10 finish here in the road race with Wachtendorf. Okay, one of them has been caught. Daniel and Shoulders are bobbing really bad. Alex House is there. 7K to go. The numbers bobbing, changing as riders on the back just kind of hanging on or grabbing back on as we go up and down here. But now, 1 rider off the front, TJ Van Garderen. 9 riders left in the pack. I'm going to use my gel now. 3K to go. And I'm in a group of 4. Chance for a top 5. Chance for a top 5. 2K to go, and I'm going to be a better sprinter than some of these guys. After this climb, okay, after this climb, come on Wachtendorf. A little slow getting over the top, but he's going to have a top 5. Can he get onto the podium? No, not quite. TJ Van Garderen gets a win, Nathan Brown second, William Barta third, and Brecht Wachtendorf takes 4th. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, that is going to be huge for the sponsor confidence. Unlike the German race, where I have no idea for sure what's going to happen in reflection of that one, because our sponsor cares about Belgium, the Netherlands, and the USA. So I don't know what they're going to think about a German top 10. But I do know what they're going to think about an American top 5 finish based on the individual time trial. That's going to boost that sponsor confidence. And that's going to put us back into that happy zone. Oh, yes. And that was with 2 riders here. We even managed to get 23rd. Easter cracked the top 25. Wachtendorf so nearly in second, but he needed to get to the top of the hill on that last couple pedal strokes to get over the hump and get into that flat terrain. The other guys just zipped right away from him. He caught one, passed him up, but those 3 guys all just took off and opened up a huge gap on those last 2 pedal strokes to the top. If he was still there side by side, he would have outsprinted those guys for sure and finished second. There it is, confirmation. Top 4 finished 32 seconds behind the winner. Easter coming in with that next group on the road. Sponsor confidence maxed out today. We'll see what it is tomorrow. There's still one more race today, though, to get through. And I should have just enough riders now. 5 riders said yes, that is the minimum. And we saved our doctor for this race. Profile. It's a sprint. But this could be like that other one. And we could have a very small group left at the end. Now this time, however, this is not a big objective. Just out looking for points. Just out looking for a win with a smaller than normal team. 105k. So it's a short one. And Seaspool among the favorites. But Raguigui, who we had some real trouble with last year. Every time he was in a race, he ran away with it. Is here for this one. So definitely not a top favorite, but we could probably squeeze out another top 5. But I'm going to go ahead and skip forward on this one towards the end of this race, and then we'll stick with that one till the end until we get our results when we turn the calendar to the next day to see just how Nike feels about our successes in the road race. Alright, so I'm back. There's been a crash that really split the field. Simpson, 3 of the guys were caught up in it, but Simpson was on the ground a bit longer and ended up at the very tail end of the chase group. But things came back together, split apart, came back together, split apart, and Simpson slowly moved his way up. And as the groups kind of split and grouped back and forth, we finally get back to the peloton and to the front of the peloton. Just 25 riders at the moment, and I do finally have all 5 here. However, Brown is just about finished. So Brown, who's protecting Garrison, is going to be gone, and we're going to put Simpson into that job for now, and Brown's going to be done. Bull and Garrison are hanging on. Harris and Simpson both struggling. Simpson used a lot of energy to get from that back pack back to the front pack as the groups kind of slinkied their way up and down these climbs. Breakaway group has been caught, so we are now with a peloton that's still growing and shrinking regularly, but 28 riders currently. 23 now is Brown, is the split guy. And all of a sudden there's 2 riders actually off the front. You can see the gaps are relatively small, but they open up pretty quick. 2 guys tried to get off the front, but it did not work. We've got 17.5k to go. We've got 3 more times up the climb, with one of them coming right to the finish line. Bull, Garrison hanging on, but Simpson, Harris not going to be around much longer. Kind of sad news, because Simpson could be in for a shout on this thing, but after his crash and the work it took to get back to the front, and the fact that he's not much of a sprinter leaves me, well, Garrison and Bull are 2 sprinters, where from the looks of this, it's going to take a little bit of a climb. That climb we just went up and over is that final climb, and then you sprint to the finish line. So it's going to take Garrison getting up that climb before Bull can then sprint off from there. But this hill right here is the one that's doing the most damage. Brown has actually remade contact, so the pace is really slow. Nobody's really leading it out at the moment. I have 11k to go, and one more time up and over the full climb, and then halfway through the final one. It is time, though, to form this up. We're going to go 99s. Brown's not going to be a part of it, though. But we're going to use whatever is left of these guys. Harris and then Simpson. Simpson's going to be the one on front, but he's already at the front, so we're organized. He's not going yet, but I'm going to have him lead us up the climb here in just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and use his gel now as we head over the bridge. We'll start climbing here in just a moment. I don't want him at a 99 just yet, but just in case there's an acceleration, now it's time to go. He's doing too much damage to Harris, as Harris is just struggling to keep his wheel. But now we're at the front. Bull, come on, Bull. Get up there. There we go. This is the position I want to be in. This is the top climb. Harris is done too. Simpson's actually off the front. I want you to just keep going. Okay, 3K to go. Coming up on the bridge. I'm going to get Garrison ready now. Remember, it's just one climb to go here. One climb to go. And it's going to be Garrison coming off the front. And let's go now. So here we go. Those guys just doing what they can to get to the finish. Garrison leading it out. 1K to go. Go ahead and sprint, Garrison. Go ahead and sprint. And Bull coming over the top. Bull coming over the top. Can he get through? No, he's not gonna go. It's Riguigui. Could not overtake him. He's too strong. But we did get second place. That's a good finish. Riguigui. Bull was in a good position. Had a real shot at it. Had the power. Had the ability. But Riguigui was just too strong. Could not gain an inch on him. But that was well done. That was a good finish. Small team, difficult race for my team with all that climbing. And we managed second place, and 10th, and 21st, 26th, and 27th. So all 5 of my riders inside the top 30. That's solid. That's all the time that I have. But we are going to get back to that main menu, go forward one day to see the reevaluation on that sponsor confidence as it recalculates that daily.
And here are the race highlights that we've selected for you.
And we'll see if we're in with a shout still for the budget increase. Sponsor confidence is 100% at the end of the day. They loved the day we just had. 9th place in German road race. 4th place in the American road race. 2nd place in the Constantine race. But what's tomorrow going to say? This is where we're keeping our eye out. Haha. And the sponsor confidence is 100%. 100%. They are absolutely thrilled by the success. And we have the one race to go. Now, nothing could go wrong. Importance, double plus USA Championships for that top 5 finish. That is the first double plus that I've had of any kind, and that has made the results impeccable. We've done it. We are going to get that $12,000 bonus now because there's one objective left with Alsace, and we're very capable, 3 sprint stages, of getting a win at some point in one of those, or at least getting a top 5 or top 3. And I don't think that would do enough damage to hurt us, because there's literally one race that could hurt us. And as I mentioned before, I'm not even sure if it's going to count, because the 31st is the signing day. We might not get the results of that until the 1st of August, until the next day. So it might not even show up here as a result to be classified good or bad until it's too late already. So, from the pit of despair, we have emerged thanks to an absolutely amazing performance by Brecht Wachtendorf in the USA National Road Race Championships by taking 4th place. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.